Shadows behind closed doors. Moving into a new apartment is always an adventure, and when I found a seemingly perfect place in the heart of the city, I thought my luck had finally turned around. Little did I know that my new roommate would unveil a chilling tale of darkness that lurked behind the facade of our shared living space. The apartment, bathed in the glow of city lights outside the window, felt cozy and inviting. My roommate, Emily, greeted me with a warm smile. She seemed friendly enough polite, with an air of mystery that I attributed to the intriguing art pieces scattered around the living room. In the beginning, everything was normal. We shared stories, laughed, and navigated the city's vibrant nightlife together. Yet, as the days passed, I noticed peculiar details about Emily. She never invited friends over, always kept her bedroom door locked, and disappeared 4 hours on end, returning with an enigmatic expression that hinted at hidden secrets. One night, as I lay in bed, I heard muffled whispers emanating from Emily's room. The voices, indistinct and haunting, seemed to echo through the walls. I chalked it up to a late-night phone call or a distant TV show, but a gnawing sense of unease settled in. As weeks turned into months, Emily's behavior grew increasingly erratic. She avoided eye contact, and her once warm demeanor morphed into an icy reserve. The apartment, once a haven, took on a chilling atmosphere that seemed to reflect the growing tension between us. One evening, curiosity got the better of me. Emily had left the apartment, and a peculiar odor lingered in the air. Against my better judgment, I decided to investigate her room. The door, usually locked, yielded to my touch, and I stepped into a realm of disconcerting discovery. The room, dimly lit by flickering candles, was adorned with symbols I couldn't decipher. Strange artifacts lined the shelves, and a haunting mural adorned one of the walls. A mural that seemed to move with an unnatural energy. As I surveyed the room, a cold wind swept through, extinguishing the candles in a chilling whisper. My heart pounded as I noticed a collection of photographs. On Emily's desk, images of people I had never seen before. Their eyes, hollow and vacant, stared back at me, their faces etched with an otherworldly sadness. The unsettling reality dawned on me: Emily harbored a connection to something beyond the realm of the living. That night, as I lay in bed, the whispers returned. The shadows in the room seemed to writhe with an unseen force, and the air grew thick with an otherworldly presence. A voice, laden with sorrow, reached out from the darkness. "Help me," it pleaded, a spectral echo that sent shivers down my spine. Desperation set in, and I confronted Emily about the eerie occurrences. Her eyes, once warm, now gleamed with an otherworldly intensity. She spoke of a pact made in desperation, a connection to entities from a realm unknown. The room, she claimed, was a conduit to the spirits trapped in the shadows. Haunted by the whispers, I sought refuge in a friend's apartment, leaving behind the unsettling reality that lurked within the walls of our shared space. Emily, consumed by the forces she had unleashed, became a mere shadow of her former self. The apartment, once a sanctuary, held a lingering darkness that defied explanation. The whispers persisted in my dreams, a haunting reminder that some secrets, once unveiled, leave scars that transcend the boundaries of the living and the supernatural. In the city's bustling heart, my former apartment stood as a silent witness to the roommate horror story. A tale of shadows, secrets, and the chilling realization that sometimes the things we can't see are the ones that haunt us the most. The empty reflection. Moving into a new apartment marked the beginning of a new chapter in my life, or so I thought. The allure of independence was overshadowed by the chilling presence that dwelled within the confines of my shared living space. My roommate, Emma, was an enigma. Her soft-spoken demeanor and distant gaze made it difficult to decipher her thoughts. The apartment, though modest, held an unsettling aura that seemed to emanate from Emma's very presence. Strange occurrences became routine. Objects shifted when I wasn't looking, and whispers echoed through the empty rooms late at night. I would hear hushed conversations, as if Emma were hosting unseen guests in the shadows. When I confronted her, she dismissed my concerns with a vacant smile, claiming that the old building had its quirks. One evening, as darkness blanketed the apartment, I returned to find Emma sitting in front of a dimly lit mirror. Her reflection stared back, but something was off. It seemed like a mere silhouette, devoid of features, and its eyes held a profound emptiness that sent shivers down my spine. I hesitated before asking about the mirror, my voice betraying the unease that had taken hold of me. Emma's gaze remained fixed on the reflection, her words a haunting whisper that cut through the stillness. She spoke of a presence that dwelled within the mirror, an entity that craved connection with the living. As Emma continued, the air grew heavier, and the temperature plummeted. The mirror seemed to warp, its surface rippling like disturbed water. Unseen hands brushed against my skin, and the whispers escalated into anguished cries that reverberated through the apartment. Fear gnawed at me as I stumbled backward, my eyes fixated on the distorted reflection. The emptiness in the mirror seemed to manifest in the room, a void that consumed the very essence of the space. Emma's vacant smile morphed into a grotesque grin, and her voice took on an otherworldly cadence. The room transformed into a nightmarish realm, shadows contorting into grotesque shapes, and the air pulsating with an otherworldly energy. I felt a presence, an unseen force that reached out from the mirror, its ethereal fingers brushing against my consciousness. Desperation seized me as I sought escape. The apartment, once a haven, had become a nightmarish labyrinth. The walls seemed to close in, and the whispers echoed with malicious intent. Every step I took only led me deeper into the twisted reality that Emma's presence had conjured. As I stumbled through the darkened corridors, the mirror's influence followed me. The emptiness and its reflection, now a haunting presence that clung to my every movement. Unseen eyes watched from the shadows, and the whispers formed into mocking laughter that echoed through the apartment. In a final act of desperation, I confronted Emma, pleading for an end to the nightmare. Her eyes, now devoid of any trace of humanity, locked onto mine. The mirror, a gateway to an otherworldly realm, pulsed with an insidious energy. With a hollow smile, Emma uttered words that sealed my fate. The room collapsed into darkness, and the mirror consumed me. The emptiness within it became my eternal reflection, trapped in a nightmarish existence that mirrored the void within Emma's soul. The apartment, now silent and devoid of life, held the lingering whispers of the horror that unfolded within its walls. The mirror, an unholy portal, awaited its next victim, its surface rippling with the torment of souls trapped in a realm beyond the living. As the echoes of the roommate horror story faded, the apartment stood as a testament to the malevolent force that dwelled within the reflections of the haunted mirror, forever seeking connection with the living, and forever trapping unsuspecting souls in the emptiness of its eternal gaze. The mirror's reflection. College life had its challenges, and sharing a dorm room was one of them. When my original roommate dropped out unexpectedly, I was assigned a new one, Ethan. At first glance, he seemed like any other student. But as the days unfolded, I realized there was something profoundly unsettling about him. Ethan kept odd hours, often returning to the room long after midnight. The air around him held a palpable tension, as if he carried a hidden burden. But it wasn't until one fateful night that the true horror of my living situation unraveled. I was jolted awake by the creak of the door. Groggy and disoriented, I squinted through the darkness to see Ethan standing at the foot of my bed. His eyes gleamed in the dim light, fixated on something unseen. I mumbled a tired greeting, but he remained silent, his gaze never leaving a peculiar antique mirror he held in his hands. The mirror, an ornate relic with an intricately carved frame, seemed to radiate an otherworldly energy. As Ethan stared into its depths, the room took on an unnatural stillness. Unease settled over me, and I realized that the mirror reflected something more than just our dorm. It mirrored a darkness that transcended the tangible. Ethan's gaze remained locked on the mirror, his eyes widening with each passing moment. It was as if he communed with an unseen force, a spectral presence that whispered secrets only he could comprehend. A shiver crawled down my spine as the air thickened with an otherworldly malevolence. Unable to bear the unsettling silence, I asked Ethan about the mirror. His response was cryptic, a mere whisper that sent chills down my spine. "It shows the truth behind the reflections," he muttered, his voice carrying an unsettling resonance. Night after night, Ethan became fixated on the mirror. The room transformed into a haunting tableau as he spoke to unseen entities, his words a disturbing blend of reverence and fear. Shadows seemed to dance within the glass, and the air pulsed with a spectral energy that defied rational explanation. One evening, unable to resist the allure of the mirror, I ventured to peer into its depths. My reflection stared back, but beneath the surface, I glimpsed a distorted version of myself. A ghastly figure with hollow eyes and an unnatural grin. Fear gripped me as I stumbled back, the room itself seeming to recoil from the mirror's malevolence. As the nights wore on, the mirror's influence seeped into the fabric of our reality. Strange occurrences became commonplace. The room's temperature fluctuated wildly. Furniture rearranged itself, and disembodied whispers echoed in the silence. I became a mere pawn in a haunting game played by forces beyond my understanding. One night, as Ethan communed with the mirror, I witnessed a nightmarish reflection that defied all reason. The room transformed into a shadowy abyss, and the mirror's surface rippled with ethereal tendrils. Faces, contorted in agony, stared back at us, their silent screams echoing through the room. Desperation set in as I confronted Ethan about the horrors unfolding. He seemed oblivious to the malevolence that emanated from the mirror, his devotion unwavering. In a final act of defiance, I decided to remove the mirror from the room, hoping to sever its grip on our reality. As I lifted the antique relic, a surge of otherworldly energy coursed through me. The room convulsed with an unseen force, and the mirror's surface warped and twisted. Faces within it contorted in agony, their silent screams reaching a crescendo. With a deafening crack, the mirror shattered into 1,000 shards, each piece carrying a fragment of the spectral presence that had haunted us. In the aftermath, the room fell into an eerie silence. Ethan, seemingly freed from the mirror's influence, stared at the shards in disbelief. The malevolence that once clung to the air dissipated, leaving behind a tangible sense of relief. The ordeal left an indelible mark on my college experience. The mirror's shattered remnants were disposed of, and Ethan, forever changed by the spectral communion, withdrew into solitude. The room, once a haven for students, became a cautionary tale, a reminder that some reflections carry the weight of horrors beyond the surface, and delving into the mysteries of the unseen can unravel the fabric of reality itself.